What's up, dudes? And we're getting ready for week 14 of Sons of Han NASCAR 2022. It is Memorial Day weekend, so break out your hot dogs, break out your hamburgers, and break out a TV to watch the Coca-Cola 600. One of my favorite races of the season. Becomes a whole big Memorial Day weekend event. They're going to have fireworks shows going on, a lot of American flag, salute the troops and things like that, paint schemes on the cars, so that's going to be something to look out for. We're going to jump into the Coca-Cola 600 in a minute. We're going to do a recap of week 13 and a brief recap of the All-Star race, which did not have fantasy implications, but was an excellent race. So we'll do a quick recap of that. We'll do an update on the league. But first, this video is sponsored by Limited Edition Freedom Budweiser, made right here in America by Anheuser-Busch. So even though it's the Coca-Cola 600, don't be buying that Woca-Cola stuff, because at Anheuser-Busch, they are not afraid to show their patriotism like Coca-Cola is. So pick up some Bud Heavy and enjoy the race on Sunday. All right, week 13, we were at Kansas. Good, pretty straightforward track, mile-and-a-half track. A lot going on, though. One thing I do want to say before we get into who won and things like that is, not at Kansas, but just in general, one thing that I have noticed with this new next-gen car is a lot of guys have been having trouble with the one lug nut wheel removal and replacing. Wheels have been falling off of cars at a pace that we've never seen in NASCAR. NASCAR wheels used to have 5 lug nuts like normal. They substituted it with the 1 lug nut wheel, and guys, losing a wheel during a race is a huge setback, because not only are you taken out of the race and have to pit and all that stuff, but your crew chief and members of your pit crew are suspended immediately because it's a huge safety hazard. Danny Hamlin, for example, when we were at Dover, lost his wheel. His crew chief was suspended for 4 races, along with a couple members of his pit crew. So obviously they have guys that sub in for that, but that's not something that you want to see happen. Your crew chief and your driver have a very special relationship, so they go hand in hand together. And Danny Hamlin since then has been suffering. So this is just something that we want to keep an eye on going forward. Teams are definitely going to keep an eye on it, try to rectify it and work towards it. But again, this next-gen car is something that is a work in progress. It's new to everybody. That's why this year is so exciting, especially for my new NASCAR fans. Stuff that we haven't seen before or have seen rarely is happening now. That's just one example. The other example of the next-gen car I want to go over is the safety measures. Since Dale Earnhardt died in 2001 at the Daytona 500, there have been huge safety implications put forward every single year in NASCAR. Safer barriers and things like that. One of the things that they focused on with the safety of the next-gen car is keeping the car on the ground. And we saw that at the All-Star race, where Kyle Busch blew a tire and Ross Chastain hit him hard from behind and then went flying up into Chase Elliott. This could have been a disastrous wreck. With previous models of NASCAR cars, wrecks like that have sent guys up in the air, upside down, tumbling over. After watching the replay over and over, I give them a lot of credit with this next-gen car, where the downforce of the wind keeps the car from really going airborne, which I'm sure is still going to happen eventually, but it was good to see it there, as it was a scary wreck to watch in the beginning, but everybody walked away, everybody was okay. Sometimes those wrecks can be very exciting. Obviously, we want everybody to be safe and be okay, but could have been a lot worse. So you're starting to see the next-gen car in more ways than just the racing aspect of it. But the wheels, the lug nuts are becoming a problem for these pit crews. The safety measures are a plus side of it. So again, this is a learning experience. It's a work in progress for all these guys, and we're seeing it unfold right before our eyes, which is something very cool, very historic, and hope everybody's enjoying it and having a good time. All right, let's go over Kansas, week 13. Stage 1 goes to Kyle Busch in the number 18. Stages 2 and 3 go to Kurt Busch in the number 45. Good for him. Picks up the first win of the season for 2311 Racing, owned by Danny Hamlin and Michael Jordan. So good for them. That team's been working hard. And Kurt Busch picks up his first win of the year. He's locked into the playoffs. Quick update on the league. TJ in first place with Bobby LaBubble Potty. Tom in second with Sly 1. Bobby in third with Day After. Steve in fourth with Daytona 38. Rounding out the top 5 is Bobby Miller with Bobby Ricky. John with Joe Byron still holding the single points week with 258 at Bristol Dirt. Again, something to keep an eye on. but he's been there for a while. I don't see it changing, but somebody please prove me wrong. 258 points is the single high points to beat. All right, let's do a quick recap of the All-Star race. I'm not going to get too much into it because there were no fantasy implications. This was an off week from fantasy, but for my race fans, hope guys that watched it enjoyed it. It was very exciting. I'm not going to get too much into the details because it's a completely different race than they run the other races. The only implication as far as winning is the winner gets $1 million, which is how Chase Elliott's father, Bill Elliott, got his nickname $1 Million Bill. I don't remember correctly if he won the first ever All-Star race or the first All-Star race where the prize was $1 million, but that's why Bill Elliott is known as $1 Million Bill. Hell of a race. I'm not going to get into the whole stage breakdown and the qualifying and things like that because it's a whole big mess going on. They were explaining it during the race. There's a ton of different rules and short stages and things like that. So either way, it was good to watch these guys on a fast track like Texas getting their cars ready for short runs because the stages were 20 or 25 laps. So, 4 tire pit stops under yellow and then just banging it out each short stage. Very exciting to watch. Ryan Blaney gets the win, wins his first All-Star race, picks up that $1 million prize. He won it under questionable fashion where on the restart, the caution was waived right before he crossed the start-finish line, so they went into overtime. His window net was down. When they went green again, his window net wasn't fully back up. Danny Hamlin had a problem with this. When the race was over, he said that, rules are rules. It's clearly written in the NASCAR rulebook. You cannot, if you race with your window net down, it is an immediate black flag. You lose your position. You get waved into pit road. NASCAR looked back at it. They stand by their decision that they didn't black flag Ryan Blaney. So this could be a judgment call for people. I am more of a Ryan Blaney fan than I am a Danny Hamlin fan. I don't like Danny Hamlin, but I understand where he's coming from here. NASCAR prides themselves on making rules for the sake of safety. That's like their number one thing. And thank God nobody has died in the sport since Dale Earnhardt over 20 years ago. But if you're going to make rules that drivers have to adjust to in the name of safety, then you have to uphold those rules. And that would have changed the outcome of that race. Ryan Blaney's window net was definitely down during that overtime couple laps. So, it's up to interpretation. But at the end of the day, Ryan Blaney is your All-Star race winner and the winner of $1 million as it sits. Going forward, we're going to week 14 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Coca-Cola 600, one of the best events in NASCAR every year. Charlotte's a good, fast 1.5 mile track, pretty straightforward track, a lot of speed on that track. But the Coca-Cola 600 itself, like Memorial Day weekend, is just a great event. It's racing all weekend. You got the trucks on Friday, the Xfinity on Saturday, the Cup Series on Sunday, patriotic paint schemes in all 3 series. You got fireworks shows, country concerts, a lot of salute the troops things going on, merchandise being sold, donated to charity, the proceeds and things like that. Look for a lot of American flag paint schemes. That's my favorite part of the weekend. A lot of different paint schemes than your drivers normally have. They sub out some different sponsors to get red, white, and blue and flags on the cars and things like that. Going to be something to keep an eye on. But overall, just going to be an exciting race. This is also, in terms of mileage, the longest race of the year. The Coca-Cola 600 is a 600-mile race. Every race, road courses aside, are usually either 400 or 500 laps, especially on 1.5 mile tracks and on super speedways. Even the super speedways, Talladega is a 500-mile race. This is a 600-mile race. So it is going to be 4 stages. Stage 3 will not count for fantasy points. However, your lineup locks at the end of stage 3. So when the race is over, your fantasy points will be calculated by stage 1, stage 2, and then the end of the race standings. Stage 3, you will not get stage points, fantasy stage points. However, your lineup will lock at the end of stage 3. So you still have to keep an eye on your roster throughout the entire race. However, stage points will not be awarded in terms of fantasy for the end of stage 3. Hope everybody got all that. 600-mile race. It's a long one. It's going to be a good one. It's also going to go into the night. The race isn't going to start until 6:30. Should still have some sunlight out there in Charlotte. But as the race continues, it's a long race. It's going to get dark. They're going to be under the lights. Going to be very cool to see the change as the temperature in the track changes. It gets a little cooler out there over time. How guys adjust to that. Always an exciting race to watch. Memorial Day weekend, Coca-Cola 600. So let's get into our picks. Our sleeper pick at the Coca-Cola 600 is going to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And this is because I think he is due. He has somewhat of a subpar record at the Coca-Cola 600, couple top 10s, never won one. However, let's go back the past few weeks, the past 3 races, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who is not a guy that I start every week. I don't know anybody that would, but 8th place at Kansas, 8th place at Darlington, and 2nd place at Dover. Could this be the beginning of a trend? Is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. starting to pick up some steam in that number 47? We'll have to wait and see. But a win at the Coca-Cola 600 is definitely something that'll put him on the map. He's already got eyes on him as he's been running hot the past few weeks, but this is going to be definitely something that'll put him over out of that sleeper category, maybe just into a playoff category. If he continues to do well, maybe picks himself up a top 5 or a top 10 at Charlotte. Our winner for the Coca-Cola 600, we're going to go with the number 9, Chase Elliott, and this is for many reasons. One is that his last 2 starts at the Coca-Cola 600, he came up runner-up both times, 2nd place and 2nd place. This is one that he wants because he's done so much in his short career. He's won a championship. He won an Xfinity championship. He's won an all-star race. He's still young, and he's accomplished so much. He has not, however, won a Coca-Cola 600. So I think this is something he's going to be gunning for. He's come so close. The past 2, he came in 2nd both times. So it's right there. He could taste it. He wants it. He's been running hot. He also snapped his streak of not winning at any track besides a road course. He snapped that streak at Dover a couple of weeks ago. So before that, all his wins came on road courses going back to the championship race at Phoenix in 2020 when he won his first and only championship. Since then, up until Dover, all his wins came at road courses. Then he won at Dover, which is a mile track. Charlotte's a mile and a half. But if he can keep it, he's in first place. If he can keep up the momentum, this is definitely one that he wants, something he can check off the box. So we're going to be rooting for him. And I think with the right car and the right team, and he's going to be gunning hot for it. So I think he could pull it off. So that's going to be our pick to win the race. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as a sleeper. Start your guys, make your picks. Any questions, reach out to me. Good luck, everybody. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.